Nurses, para saan ba yung mga anti-hypertensive medications na yan? Good question. Kasi ang trabaho guys ng mga antihypertensives is to lower BP para ipababa yung BP to prevent stroke, heart attack, and kidney diseases. Okay? Pag tatanungin ko yan sa board exam, alam mo na yung sagot. Now, nurses, kilalanin natin isa-isa yung different classifications of antihypertensive medications. Let's start with ACE, or tinatawag na angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors, or ACE inhibitors. So guys, kung tatanungin kayo guys, ano ba yung mode of action ni ACE inhibitors? Tandaan, ACE inhibitors guys, they block the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. At kapag nabablock guys ang conversion from angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, nagkakaroon ng vasodilation or nagdadilate yung mga blood vessels, making it bababa yung blood pressure. Okay? So tandaan niya na, that is the mode of action of ACE inhibitors. So tandaan nurses, kapag ACE inhibitors guys, ito yung mga gamot that ends with pril. Example, enalapril, captopril, lisinopril, and ramipril. Ramipril, di ba? Nabulol pa ako. So, kilala mo na ngayon si ACE inhibitors ha? Ends with pril. Okay? Easy lang, di ba? Next, kilala naman natin guys si angiotensin receptor blockers or ARB. No? Ang trabaho ni ARB guys, yung mode of action niya is actually binablock na yung angiotensin 2 receptors. Okay? Ito naman yung mode of action niya. Dito siya nag-e-effect. It blocks angiotensin 2 receptors which causes vasodilation or nagda-dilate yung mga blood vessels, lumalaki, which causes lowering of blood pressure. Okay? Ang ARB guys, ito yung mga gamot na nag-e-end with sartan. Example, losartan, telmisartan, olmesartan, valsartan, and candesartan. That's ARB. Next, punta naman tayo guys kay calcium channel blockers or CCB. Calcium channel blockers. So yung mode of action guys ni calcium channel blockers, kung tatanungin ko sa board exam, is it blocks calcium entry in the smooth muscles. Kaya pala sinatawag siya sir na calcium channel blockers. Exactly, sa pangalan niya pa lang. It blocks the entry of calcium in the smooth muscles. At kapag nabablock guys yung calcium, hindi na magko-contract yung mga muscles. So, nagkakause din siya ng vasodilation. Thereby, nagkakaroon ng lowering of BP. Kaya mababa ang BP kasi nagvavasodilate. Ang calcium channel blocker, guys, they usually end with dipine. Example, amlodipine, philodipine, nimodipine, nifedipine, and estradipine. Pero tandaan din, guys, meron din siyang iba ha. May iba ding pangalan yung mga calcium channel blockers. Kagaya ni verapamil and diltiazem. Okay? Mamaya i-explain ko yun guys yung bakit magkaiba sila. Bakit may mga dito, may nakakasaling hindi ba? Charot lang. Pero depende sila. Calcium channel blockers yung tawag sa kanila. Okay? Next, beta blockers. Okay? Yung mode of action guys ni beta blockers is it blocks beta adrenergic receptors in the heart. Okay? At kapag nabablock guys yung beta adrenergic receptors in the heart, it causes lowering of heart rate, mababa ang heart rate, at mababa rin yung heart contractility or yung heart contraction. Bumababa siya. At kapag mababa guys yung heart rate and contraction of the heart, bumababa din yung BP. Okay? So yan yung mode of action niya. Ang mga beta blockers guys, alam nyo na to, it ends with olol. For example, propranolol, metoprolol, bisoprolol, and labetalol. Atenolol din. Okay? So, beta blockers, olol. Yung tinatawag guys na mga direct vasodilators. Okay? Kung tatanungin kayo guys sa board exam, ano yung trabaho or mode of action ni direct vasodilators? It just dilates the blood vessels. Sa pangalan niyo pa lang guys, direct blood vasodilators, it directly dilates the blood vessels, making it lower the blood pressure. Kapag nagda-dilate yung blood vessels, guys, lumalaki yung mga blood vessels, syempre yung pressure hindi tataas. Bababa talaga yung blood pressure. Tandaan yan, ha? So, example, guys, ng mga direct vasodilators. Actually, marami sila. So, nilagay ko dito ends with zine. For example, hydralazine. Lumalabas to, guys, sa board exam. Minoxidil. Diazoxide. Tapos, si sodium nitroprusside. No, kilalang-kilala din to sa board exam, ha? Especially si hydralazine, guys, and si nitroprusside. Okay? So, these are direct vasodilators. Isasama na rin natin, guys, sa antihypertensives yung mga diuretics, no? Alam ko, mag-aangal ka, Sir, diuretic naman yan. Pero, guys, they can cause mababa din ang BP. Okay? So, kasama pala sa antihypertensive therapy si diuretics. No? So, alam nyo na yan, guys. Pag sinabing diuretics, guys, diuresis, nagpapaihi. Okay? Yung mode of action niya, guys, is to remove excess sodium and water from the blood vessels. At kapag mababa yung tubig sa blood vessels natin, guys, bumababa din yung blood volume, making it na mababa din yung blood pressure. Okay? Tandaan yan. Example, guys, ng mga diuretics, guys. If willing ka, guys, manood ng another video ko, I have a complete video about diuretics, guys. Suking-suki yan sa board exam. Panoorin mo na lang dito. So, it's divided into two parts, guys. We have the potassium sparing and the potassium wasting. Sa pangalan niya pa lang, guys, may clue ka na. Pag sinabing potassium sparing, pag sparing, guys, hindi niya tinatapon. Kinikip niya, no? Sinispare. Diba? So, kapag wasting naman, guys, sa pangalan pa lang, tinatapon niya yung potassium. So, gets mo na, no? Sa potassium sparing, guys, example niyan, mga spironolactone. And sa potassium wasting naman, guys, yung mga loop diuretics, example, furosemide, tapos yung mga thiazides. Example, hydrochlorothiazides. Potassium wasting and potassium sparing. No? Magagamit mo yan, guys. Next, yung tinatawag natin ng mga central alpha-2 agonists. No? Ang haba. Ano ba yung mode of action nito? Ang central alpha-2 agonists, guys, they stimulate alpha-2 adrenergic receptors, especially found in the medulla oblongata in the brainstem, no? Sa brainstem natin. Tandaan, guys, kung tatanungin kayo ang medulla oblongata, dito, guys, yung blood pressure center. Okay? Dito yung blood pressure center sa brain natin. Tsaka sa brainstem din, no? So, sinestimulate niya, guys, ang alpha-2 adrenergic receptors. At kapag na-stimulate, guys, yung alpha-2 adrenergic receptors, bumababa yung production of norepinephrine. So, bumababa pala yung norepinephrine, guys. Tandaan, ang norepinephrine, stimulant din yan sa body natin. It's a hormone that stimulates our body to increase heart rate, diba? Pag mga fight or flight, lumalaban din yan si epinephrine at norepinephrine. So dito, kapag na-stimulate pala, guys, yung alpha-2 adrenergic receptors, bumababa yung norepinephrine secretion. So ang mangyayari, kapag mababa ang norepinephrine, marirelax yung mga blood vessels. So magdadilate. Making it lower the BP. Gets? Gets mo na yan. Example, guys, ng mga central alpha-2 agonists, central alpha-2 agonists, is yung methyl-dopa and clonidine. Clonidine, guys, or catapres. Alam mo yung dinilagay sa dila. Sikat na sikat to eh. Next, we have the alpha blockers, no? So, alpha blockers naman, guys, yung mode of action niya is it blocks alpha adrenergic receptors na makikita sa blood vessels natin. May mga alpha adrenergic pala dyan, no? Thereby, naglulow yung contraction ng muscles sa blood vessels mismo, which causes vasodilation. At again, kapag may vasodilation, guys, bumababa yung BP. Kasi kapag lumalaki yung butas or lumalaki yung tubo, naglulow yung pressure. Okay? So, tandaan yan. Example ng mga alpha blockers, guys, are drugs ends with zosine. Zosine. Example, terazocine and doxazosine. Yan. Magigets mo na siya, no? So yun, nurses, kilala mo na ngayon yung mga antihypertensives, no? Alam mo na yung mga beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, ARB, ACE inhibitors, alpha blockers. Now, i-discuss natin, guys, yung general considerations natin kapag nagtitake tayo ng antihypertensive medications. Number 1, guys. Tandaan nyo, guys, kapag nagtitake ka ng antihypertensive, your patient will can experience hypotension. Siyempre guys, given na yan, no? Ano ba yung effect ni antihypertensives? Pinapababa yung BP. At tandaan nyo din, nurses, kapag masyadong mababa din yung BP, delikado din yan, guys. It can lead to shock. At kapag na-shock, guys, mawawala ng blood yung body natin kasi nga super baba ng pressure. Delikado din yan. So, tandaan, guys, kapag yung patient natin is hypotension, nagkakos ng hypotensive siya, do not give antihypertensives kapag yung BP is less than 90. 90 yung systolic, okay? Tapos yung heart rate is 60 BPM, bawal na bawal yan, no? Tandaan niya, nurses, ha, kapag hypotension na, huwag magbigay ng mga antihypertensives kapag yung BP is 90 and below. 90 over 60 below, wag na wag ibibigay. That is a board exam question, an NCLEX question. Next, merong orthostatic hypotension. Kapag nagkakaroon, guys, ng orthostatic hypotension, alam mo na yan, kapag nag-change ng positions, bumababa agad yung BP. So, we have to instruct our patients to change the positions slowly. Tapos, guys, do not stop the medication agad-agad, abruptly. No? Never gawin yan. Kasi, guys, it can cause rebound hypertension. Mas tataas lalo yung BP. So, yan yung mga i-consider natin, guys, ha. Lumalabas to, guys, sa board exam, so take note of this. Now, let's be specific naman. Ano yung mga considerations natin with each antihypertensives, no? Let's start with ACE inhibitors. Nurses, tandaan, si ACE inhibitors, guys, ginagamit siya for long-term treatment. Ito talaga yung drug of choice for long-term treatment, especially for patients na may mga matataas yung BP at may mga kidney conditions. And also, meron mga heart failure, myocardial infarction, tapos yung mga diabetic patients din. Ginagamit din siya, guys, for diabetic patients. So, tandaan natin, guys, anong iwa-watch at natin na mga adverse effects ng ACE inhibitors? Number 1, guys, angioedema, no? Angioedema. Number 2 is hyperkalemia. Number 3 is fetotoxicity. And number 4 is dysgeusia. Iisa-isahin natin to ngayon, no? So, sa angioedema, guys, tandaan nyo, ito yung mukha niya, guys, oh. Angioedema, nagsiswell. Nagsiswell yung bunganga, no? There is tingling sensation, tapos biglang kumakati yan. Yan yung description ng mga pasyente. Delikado tong angioedema, guys, kasi it can lead to airway obstruction. Kapag na-obstruct ng airway, guys, mahihirapan huminga yung pasyente. Delikado yan. Alam mo na yan, di ba? Priority palagi, airway breathing circulation. Okay? So, angioedema pala is one of the adverse effects of ACE inhibitors. So, kapag nakaka-experience yung patient na kumakate, parang medyo nagsiswell yung bunganga, stop mo na agad yung ACE inhibitors, okay? Next, hyperkalemia. No? Alam mo na yan, hyperkalemia, sobrang taas ng potassium. Bakit nangyayari ito, Nurse Resty? Ito kasi yun, guys. Normally, guys, yung aldosterone, it retains sodium at pinapaalis na yung potassium. Okay? Si aldosterone. Normally, yun yung trabaho ni aldosterone. Pero guys, kapag nagtitake ka ng ACE inhibitors, ini-inhibit niya yung function ni aldosterone. It inhibits the function of aldosterone. Tandaan, aldosterone again causes sodium retention and potassium loss. Pero ngayon, kasi nga may ACE inhibitors na, it inhibits aldosterone. So, ano mangyayari, guys? Ang mangyayari, guys, is ma-retain yung potassium, yung sodium naman yung bababa. Kaya nagkakaroon ng hyperkalemia. Gets? ACE inhibitors disrupts or inhibits the function of aldosterone, kaya nagkakaroon ng hyperkalemia. I hope that's clear. Nursing considerations natin, guys, when taking ACE inhibitors, tandaan, report signs of angioedema, alam mo na yun, tingling of lips, itching, i-monitor natin yung potassium levels kasi nga nagkakaroon ng risk for hyperkalemia, no? So, i-check mo palagi sa pasyente, nagkakaroon ba siya ng mga muscle spasms, muscle weakness? Yan yung i-check mo, okay? Signs of hyperkalemia. Also, avoid natin yung mga potassium supplements kasi nga, pag imimix mo siya sa ACE, agoy, tataas na lang yung potassium talaga. Avoid din siya guys for pregnant clients kasi nga may risk siya for fetotoxicity, no? So babalikan natin guys yung fetotoxicity na yan. Ano ba yung nangyayari during fetotoxicity? Nagkakaroon kasi guys ng hypoplasia of the organs. So ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon ng hindi maayos yung pag-develop ng bata. Yung bata is nagiging abnormal. So dapat i-avoid pala siya sa mga pregnant client kasi may risk of fetotoxicity. Tapos dysgeusia din, alam nyo yan, loss of taste, no? Especially when taking captopril. When taking captopril, yun, may dysgeusia or the loss of taste. So ito yung mga bagay na iwa-watch out natin for our patients taking ACE inhibitors, no? So kung may cough man sila, it is expected, okay? Now, let's proceed guys with ARB. The good thing about ARB guys is same lang sila with ACE. Same lang sila ng nursing consideration tsaka effect sa body. So, di ba nakasave ka? Now, punta na tayo guys sa calcium channel blockers. Guys, pag calcium channel blockers, yung effect niya is directly in the blood vessels, peripheral blood vessels, no? It dilates the blood vessels, especially in the arteries. Pero, tandaan mo yung magkaibang pangalan, si verapamil at si diltiazem. Yung effect nila guys, hindi sa peripheries, mainly sa heart. Tandaan yan ha. Verapamil and diltiazem, it affects the heart. Pero the rest, yung mga dipin, amlodipin, sa peripheral blood vessels. You know? Pag sinabing peripheral guys, yung mga malalayo sa heart. Tandaan yan ha. Pag sinabing peripheral blood vessels, yung mga blood vessels na malayo sa heart. In the peripheries. For example, hands and feet. So ano yung mga nursing considerations natin when patients are taking calcium channel blockers? Number 1, avoid grapefruit. Grapefruit juice or grapefruit na prutas. Bakit nurse resty? Because it can increase the toxicity of calcium channel blockers. It can increase calcium channel blockers toxicity. So bawal natin yan. Bawal maging toxic, okay? And also, i-check natin yung mga edema. Kasi guys, prone siya, di ba, yung effect ni calcium channel blocker sa peripheries. So, usually, nagkakause yan ng edema. So, i-check natin for edema in the legs. Now, punta naman tayo guys with beta blockers. It affects the beta-1 receptors in the heart and kidneys, no? And also, it affects din yung mga beta-2 smooth muscles. Tandaan guys, pag beta-2 smooth muscles, pag beta-1, usually nasa heart and sa kidney. It also blocks the epinephrine and norepinephrine neurotransmitters, thereby naglo-low yung BP. That's one thing to consider with beta blockers. Yung mga side effects guys ni beta blockers include bronchoconstriction and bradycardia. Tandaan to ha. Bakit nagkakaroon ng bronchoconstriction guys? Kasi binablock yung beta-2 receptors. Tandaan yung mga beta-2 receptors, guys, sa smooth muscles, di ba? Tandaan, your lungs is a smooth muscle. So, binablock niya. So, nagkakaroon ng problema with nagko-constrict. Kasi nga, mas nagkakaroon din ng bradycardia. OA naman. Bradycardia. No? So, kaya tandaan, guys, kapag nagbibigay ng beta blockers, i-check palagi yung heart rate tsaka BP. Kapag ang BP, guys, 90/60 and below, do not give. Okay? Tapos yung heart rate naman 60 beats below, 60 below, wag na wag magbigay ng beta blockers, okay? Or mas magbuti, notify the physician. Alam mo na yan, do not give. Pero kapag wala dun sa choices, inform the physician. Galingan mo lang. Pero usually nandun lagi yung do not give. Nursing considerations natin when taking beta blockers, guys, is it masks hypoglycemia, especially for diabetic patients. No? So, i-check natin palagi yung palpitations and tachycardia. Kasi akala natin na, hala, okay lang yan, hypogly naman yan, diabetic patient yan. Hindi mo pala alam is, nagkakaroon na siya ng effect with the beta blockers. So, we have to check for that. Also, we need to monitor blood glucose levels. Avoid natin to sa mga patients na may asthma and COPD kasi nga, may risk siya for bradycardia. And also, bronchoconstriction. Avoid natin to kasi it can cause bradycardia and also bronchoconstriction. Diba tandaan, kapag may asthma, nagko-constrict masyado yung yung lungs, no, yung mga bronchioles and bronchi. dadagdagan mo pa ng beta blocker, mas lalong mag-constrict yun. So, mahihirapan huminga yung pasyente. So, i-avoid natin. So, COPD din, pag chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, guys, no? May problema na yan sila sa airway. So, wag tayo magbigay ng medication na nagko-constrict ng mga lungs. Okay? So, gets mo na. Pag direct vasodilators naman, nurses, tandaan, it's given for hypertensive emergencies. Yung mga nursing considerations natin kapag nagbibigay tayo ng direct vasodilators, halimbawa, nagbibigay tayo ng hydralazine. Pag hydralazine, guys, i-check natin for tachycardia and dizziness, no? And nitroprusside, guys, i-check natin for severe hypotension. Actually, for both of them, severe hypotension talaga i-check natin. Pero si hydralazine, dagdag natin yung tachycardia, okay? And tsaka dizziness. Also, sa nitroprusside, i-check natin for signs of cyanide toxicity. Ibig sabihin lang yan, guys, nasobrahan. Nasobrahan sa nitroprusside, cyanide toxicity yan. So, i-check palagi yung altered levels of consciousness, confusion, and bradycardia. Alam nyo, guys, na-encounter ko to sa PNLE and sa NCLEX, yung altered levels of consciousness. Actually, this is very common na answer. Kasi kapag, guys, may toxicity or LOC, nag-change yung, or mataas yung ICP, apektado talaga guys yung levels of consciousness. Yung parang altered talaga. Or hindi mo na makausap ng maayos or confuse yung pasyente. So, take note of that. Si altered signs of levels of consciousness or altered signs of consciousness, medyo common to siya. And also, sa direct vasodilators, guys, because ginagamit sila sa emergencies, no? I-check natin lagi for BP. Kasi guys, mabilis yung effect nila. Mabilis din sila magpababa ng BP. At tandaan, kapag sobrang baba ng BP, guys, it can lead to organ failure. Okay? Pag alpha blockers naman, guys, yung iisipin natin, tandaan yung mga nursing considerations for alpha blockers is to monitor the BP closely, of course. Sa lahat naman siguro ng blood pressure yan. Sa lahat naman guro ng blood pressure medications, kailangan ng ganyan, no? Kasi guys, organ failure can happen if BP is too low. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope na natutunan ka today. Don't forget to share this video to everyone na kilala mo and see you in my next videos. Bye!